Now, I've already touched on the MD3 in my brief introduction to the System 6000, and imagine how excited I was to find out that the System 6000 actually has a newer algorithm called the MD4, and obviously, in the words of Spinal Tap, one more's got to be better. But in all seriousness, it's been a great joy working with the MD4 because it's allowed me to get a little bit more in between the cracks that I wasn't able to do with the MD3, and it's been a really useful tool with certain types of productions, whereas before I was just using the MD3 for everything. I now have the opportunity to pick and choose between what one I use for different applications. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the MD4 in its standard mode, working on a track by an artist called Tina Oldham, who I'm producing her debut album. She's a solo singer-songwriter, and we're going for a kind of very intricate pop sound with lots of layers and with delicate vocals and lots of interest. And the MD3 was great with that material, but I found that the MD4 just allows me to bring out and enhance some of the detail that was possibly a little bit lost with the MD3. So we're going to listen to the MD4 working, and I'm going to run you through very briefly what the MD4's pages consist of, and then right at the very end I'm also going to just switch in a comparable algorithm from the MD3, just so you can see how in this case the MD4 was really the better choice. Okay, so let's firstly listen to the raw original there's no processing going on at all. This is going straight through Logic, straight to the speakers. Okay, that's the original. Now this is the original same file that's now being routed directly through the System 6000. Now on the frame page of the System 6000, I'm showing you on screen here, running concurrently with the hardware, the software version of Icon. So for the purposes of these demos, you can actually see screen grabs of what's actually going on. So this is the routing page of the System 6000, and as you can see, I've got four engines being used. I've got the MD4 in the first slot, I've got the MD3 in the second slot, so I can just do that comparison later on. I've got the brick wall limiter in the third slot, and I've got the LM6 loudness monitor in the fourth slot, which again I'll show you a little bit later. And it's just running, basically, as I explained already, I can choose to run it in various different ways. In this way, we've just got one stereo output from Logic, which is feeding the first DSP engine, and each engine is then just feeding into the other. So we're just using it like one big stereo chain. Okay, so let's have a listen to the track with the MD4 on. Here we go. Now you can immediately hear what a full and rich sound that we're getting with it going through the MD4, with much more punch, but at the same time really retaining all the detail. I'll give you an A-B comparison again. This is the raw version. And here's the MD4 version. Now let's just run through the basic pages of the MD4. You've got a main page which allows you to do all things like setting up gain, inputs, all that kind of thing. You've got a setup page which allows you to do things like checking which mode you're working in, whether you're working in stereo, dual mono, etc. And the mode that the 5 bands are working in. In this case we're working in just standard normal mode. But a little bit later I'm going to show you this mode called DXP mode, which again is a real ace up the MD4 sleeve. You've got an EQ page, you've got a great surgical EQ, and in this case you can see that we're using a little bit of lift at the high end and a little bit of mid lift. And then you've got the 5-band dynamics section, where you've got all the usual settings like threshold for each band, the gain, ratio, attack, release, and the crossover of where all the bands interact. And then you've got a brick wall limiter on the end of the chain. Now, the way I do most of my work is in obviously the 5-band compression mode here, and I tend to have 2 or 3 basic starting points for which I set up all my attack and releases. I have various different ones for different types of program material, whether it be dance music or in this case quite a slow track, and I just tend to adjust the threshold a little bit for each just to get the blend of exactly what I want. And then I possibly change a little bit of the ratio, attack and release. But let me just show you how you can really bring stuff out in the mix or take it away just by using the threshold controls once you've got the other settings set up. So let's play the track again. Okay, so we're on the threshold tab, and now my faders have all become the threshold levels for the different bands. So if we want to make it a little bit more bass-like, perhaps it's a little bit harsh in the mid. So let's bring down the mid a little bit. And as you can hear, it's very easy to just start getting all those things interacting in a different way. And you can see up here the metering, which we're using to see how much we're compressing in each band. Now for me, this tool is amazing because, as I said already, it's very easy to work with. It's a very simple user interface. You're not dealing with lots of clever graphics. It's just very simple graphics throughout the whole of the System 6000 algorithm range. So you're already working with a familiar set of graphics every plugin you work with, and that's part of the beauty of it. And as I said already, the MD4 just allows me to get in the nooks and crannies that the MD3 didn't quite allow me to do. Just so you can hear that in this instant the MD4 was the better choice for me, because it just gave me that little bit more detail and allowed me to get between the cracks a little bit more. So I'm just going to play you the track going through the MD4 and then the MD3 so you can hear the difference, and as I say, you can hear how that in this case it was better suited. So this is the track playing through the MD4. And then this is the track playing through the MD3. And then back one more time. So as you can see, the MD3 is a slightly harsher, more pokey punch sound, and with the MD4 I'm able to get something that's a little bit more rounded all around through the frequency range, and just a more pleasing sound for this type of trap.